Good afternoon. The world is on the edge of a dark abyss, so Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said yesterday following US attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities. We are normalising a scenario where certain powers bomb each other, their leaders trade nuclear threats, and civilians bear the consequences, Sanchez said in a televised speech where he also discussed Spain's NATO spending targets. His comments come as other European nations urged de-escalation after Washington joined Israel's attacks on Iran, which has now threatened retaliation. We have to protect ourselves from threats, but we also have to demand restraint from all sides, Sanchez added. Earlier, the Foreign Ministry released a statement voicing its utmost concern after the US bombings in Iran, saying the situation must be redirected through diplomatic means. The Foreign Minister, José Manuel Álvarez, also called for de-escalation and maximum restraint. International law must be respected. Diplomacy is the solution, Álvarez said. Spain has won an exemption from NATO's new 5% defence spending target, with Pedro Sanchez announcing it will spend 2.1% on defence, no more and no less. The government has just reached an agreement with NATO, which is very positive, without having to increase our defence spending, Sanchez said. A draft statement on the 5% target is to be approved by NATO leaders at a summit this week. Sanchez had publicly rejected raising the 32-nation alliance's defence spending target from 2 to 5% of GDP, as called for by the US President Donald Trump. Each country will allocate a different amount of GDP to defence spending, depending on its economic situation, Sanchez said, as he stressed that there are economic differences between allies which cannot be overlooked. And the Foreign Minister, José Manuel Álvarez, told reporters this morning he will ask the EU Council to approve an immediate suspension of the pact that governs the relationship between the EU and Israel to protect against what he called human rights violations in Gaza. He also said he would ask the Council to approve an embargo on weapons sold to Israel and approve sanctions on individuals who are undermining the two-state solution. And officers of the Guardia Civil searched the PSOE headquarters in Madrid to retrieve the emails of the former secretary of the party, Santos Cerdán, following corruption allegations. By order of the Supreme Court, officers raided the premises on Friday. Once inside, a mob of angry protesters gathered in the street. Cerdán lost his parliamentary immunity after resigning his seat as a deputy on June 16th. He was suspected of rigging public works contracts in exchange for commissions. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.